I don't know if anyone else here is into words. I mean, I'm not exactly into words, but here, let me just tell you a quick story before jumping into this video. Okay, so I like Pinterest, and I can guarantee that none of you knew that about me. And I don't know why, but sometimes the darndest things just pop up on my Pinterest feed, you know? I like to save a lot of inspirational quotes and stuff on my Pinterest just because I like the motivation. But when I was busy wasting my life on that app one time, I came across a word that really hit me hard. I don't know if any of you have heard the word monachopsis, but if you have, congratulations! You probably know how to pronounce it way better than I did when I first saw it. It's the subtle, yet persistent feeling of being out of place. Now, I know you're probably confused. Why the heck would that hit me so hard? I have all these friends and a crazy life and blah blah blah. Right, but I'm only human, and I can't help it. But I just feel randomly lonely sometimes. Does anyone else ever feel that way? Like, I know I'm usually this happy-go-lucky person, and nothing really gets to me. But this just happens so spontaneously, it usually catches me off guard pretty intensely. I don't have the constant feeling of being out of place, because with the people I'm around, it's really hard to feel that way. I fit with all of my friends, and I don't feel out of place when I'm with them constantly. But have you ever noticed that even when you're surrounded by the people you love, you still feel like no one is going to understand you? Like they're not going to want to hear you. Like if you say the wrong thing, they're just going to up and leave and you'll never see them again. Yeah, me too. I get this feeling occasionally in the back of my head, and this can be with the people I know, or the new ones that I meet, and it's the idea that they don't like me, or don't love me as much as I love them. Now I know this is a totally ridiculous thought, especially knowing that some of the people that I've been friends with have been my friends since elementary school. Yet, I just can't shake it sometimes. I might text them about something a little bit too much, and then I feel annoying. Or I think of something that we could do together, and then I feel clingy. This all just kind of spirals until I realize that I'm scared that maybe my friends aren't as close to me as I am to them. That they could easily do without me in their lives, and it wouldn't affect their day-to-day as much as it would have with me in it. I get really lonely and scared when this happens. I didn't exactly have the option of just stepping away in high school, because all of my friends and I went to school together, and I saw them every day, and despite the feeling that they didn't want me around, they always included me in the things they wanted to do. So, I had some reassurance, but when I was alone, I felt like it would just all come back. I felt like the odd one out, you know? I just felt like none of them would get it. This went on for a while too. This idea in the back of my head that I would be better off by myself because it's not like I have any real friends. It was almost like an imposter syndrome. I was the only one really hurting my feelings. But yeah, I think the one thing that I hate most about these feelings of self-doubt and loneliness is the fact that it comes so suddenly. Like, my life could be great. It could be just like the stories that I tell you guys. Everything from my mini backpacks, crazy high school stories, all of my France adventures. It doesn't feel like that when I feel like I'm the only person sitting inside this black box where the only way out is a 6-foot ceiling. I mean, I'm pretty tall for a girl, but I'm not that tall. You know who I feel like this is the worst with? Strangers. I have had a hard enough time with my friends when this happens, but when it comes to strangers, acquaintances, I about lose my mind. I feel like it's almost like random spells of social anxiety. Quick note, I don't have social anxiety. If I felt like I did, I would consult with a doctor. This is not me self-diagnosing. However, even if I don't really claim social anxiety, I have felt anxiety before. I'm sure everyone at some point in their life has felt what anxiety is. I mean, it sucks. Everyone who's felt it can also probably attest to that. But yeah, when I meet these people and get to know them in one of these states, it's hell. I feel this intense sensation that they think everything I'm doing is weird or wrong. I might laugh a certain way and go over it in my head like I think they would be too. I feel this mad sense of judgment. I just think these people don't want to be around me. I think the first time that I felt that, I was at a party. Okay, well, it wasn't really a party. It was one of those large gathering things that you do in high school to substitute for a party because partying isn't really something that your parents are willing to let you do in high school. So, I was at this with my friends, and I was already on the rocks because I was feeling like I maybe didn't deserve any of their friendship, and I was becoming more quiet and reserved than I usually would. They all wanted to go to this thing, and of course I agreed because they all expected me to go. It's not like I had anything better to do. Anyway, when we went, and we were getting to know all these people, and when I finally felt comfortable, I started to feel more like myself. I let go a little bit. I let myself get loud. Then, as the night went on, I just felt like anything that left my mouth wasn't right. I felt like everyone there was just staring at me. I just didn't feel like I was really able to be myself. Everything about it just felt so wrong. I then got this overwhelming feeling that everyone thought I was crazy and weird. I suddenly felt like the whole room was staring at me. Everything just felt so big and overwhelming, and I remember the biggest thing I was feeling was fear. Simple fear. I didn't know how to handle it, so I ran to one of the bathrooms and I cried there for 20 minutes. Of course, the person that came in happened to be Bryn. I say that I felt like really none of them would get what I'm feeling. I guess that's half the truth. Of course, I was in there for 20 minutes, so one of my friends went looking for me. In hindsight, I'm glad it was Bryn. She always knew what to do when it came to this. She was an introvert for a reason. She told us in middle school that she's actually been suffering from social anxiety since she could practically walk and talk. For years, everyone just assumed that she was super shy, but she started having panic attacks all the way back in elementary school. She understood what I was going through, and so she was the one that was able to help me work it out. I didn't really feel better the rest of the night. I still felt like everyone's eyes were there on my back, and I just didn't want to be there. But I was glad Bryn was there that night. Have you noticed how talking about things like this is kind of taboo? Everyone is kind of weirded out about the topic of feelings. Do you feel like that's you or everyone else? I think for me it was a mix of both. I didn't feel comfortable talking because I didn't feel like anyone was the right person. I felt like I would say the wrong thing, or maybe they would say the wrong thing. I also just feel that sometimes I will never be close enough to someone to feel that way. Or more, no one is close enough to me to feel that way. I know, it's ridiculous to think that way. I try and tell myself that constantly. I have a boyfriend and all the friends I could want, and they're people who actually want to hang out with me. Plus, if Hugo is anything, he's honest. He wouldn't be dating me if he didn't actually like me. Listen, I know I'm not the only person that feels this way. There are so many people out there who might just feel like the only safe space in the world for you is some small piece of your brain that's only mechanism is to basically shut down everything and close off the world. If you do, you're not alone. You might feel lonely, but there's a whole world of people who feel lonely and might need someone else to be lonely with. I still don't talk that much about these spells because they don't happen that often, but I'm sure it would be better if I did. If you're like me, not comfortable, then I hope me getting this off my chest helps. I want what everyone else wants, to be a little less lonely and insecure. Maybe I didn't find any solution to getting rid of the feeling, but I hope I brought some solace in the matter.